Bonjour and away McGonagall. It is Sunday, April 5th, a very auspicious day for many different reasons. I've saged up my space and then I just tuned it up with some tuning forks. Got some notes here. I've got my copper vessels with water and my crystal relatives here on my table to help me stay grounded to deliver this message to you. And it's going to be a little bit all over the place. And when I was struggling with how that would look, like trying to pull my notes together this morning, Spirit came through very strongly and was like, it's not a research paper. Just speak from your soul. It's not a research paper. Just say the things that you've felt compelled to say, that we've helped you kind of put some words around, and just go for it. So that's what I'm going to do. And in the spirit of saying, I'm not going to actually journal in this video, but I am going to read you some of the things that I wrote in my journal. It was a very restless night last night. Before I retired to bed, I usually like to step outside on the deck and say goodnight to the stars and to the clouds, and I'm never disappointed. I mean, it's always just a beautiful sight to behold. And then I do that in the morning when I wake up as well. I step out on the deck and I say good morning and I whisper my thank yous, and just pay attention. I'm a cloud watcher. I'm a sky watcher. I love to see if I can interpret what's going on in the world based on how the skies are. So did that last night. There were some really interesting clouds over our neighborhood. I wouldn't really call them clouds, more like a band of mist that was stretched over the neighborhood. And at first I thought maybe they could potentially be the aurora. So I took my camera out and to see if I could see if there were any colors dancing in there. And there weren't, but there were definitely some definition to the mist that I couldn't see with my naked eyes. And immediately when I saw the image, I got the hit that there were angelic forces that were protecting the neighborhood. So I'll post those at the end so that you can have a look at that as well. But it was really a restless night for me last night. And then I woke up a couple of times. One time, I often wake up in the middle of the night with an imperative to pray. And I don't mean pray in the, organized religion way. I think if you know me, if you're following me, you know what I mean. So definitely woke up with this imperative to call in peace, to call in protection, to think about those who are imprisoned and held for things that aren't unlawful or criminal, I would say. Things that aren't being held for things that aren't criminal. So I did that, and then woke up this morning, did a little bit, had some coffee, which I should probably take a sip right now also. And notice that I'm sad to report there are no clouds in the sky. There's only what I call whiteboard. It's like one solid whiteness that exists and blocks out the blueness of the sky, blocks out any clouds that may be in residence in my community. And I really don't like it when the sky looks that way. It kind of causes me to have a little bit of anxiety when I think about why is it that way and how did it get that way. I'm working on stepping away from that because this is an exercise in choosing grace over fear for me. Having, danced around some of the conspiracy theories around that, I've come to realize that those conspiracy theories leave me feeling disempowered, and that's not what I'm called to be. I'm called to be empowered. So anyway, walking through that, like choosing grace over fear and understanding that I was saddened by the fact that I wasn't greeted by blue skies and clouds. And I'm not even talking like rain clouds, right? I live in the Pacific Northwest. So, yes, it's not always a sunny day. This is something completely different. And I thought about how disorienting it was to me. And then as I was, kind of processing those thoughts, I dug in a little bit more to how disorienting that is for our more than human relatives, for the birds, and for the creatures that live in the sea, the relatives that live in the waters around where I live. The bees, how disorienting it is to not be able to see the sky, whether it's daytime or nighttime. And it led me to really think about like how disoriented we all are right now as a result of the messages that are coming through to us. And a lot of them are fantastical. A lot of them are purely fear mongering. And in all of them, there is some truth. There is some truth that exists in all of these messages. It's just that the narrative and the way that they're being delivered to us are outside of what is logical, I guess. So that led me to think about like we choose to sort through all of the messages. And I did a brief oracle reading this morning with the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And one of the cards that I pulled was called Earthed. And I've pulled that card before. It's a great deck. I love it. But as I was reading through the description in the book, she calls out this wisdom to be be part of the earth, but not of it, which is has a Christian religion basis as well. So it really kind of got my attention, and then I wanted to read a little bit more into it. And in the writings, she talks about the difference between beings who choose transcendence and beings who choose eminence. So the way that it's described, transcendence is you long to be with the angels, you eschew life on the planet. You would rather, you're actually jealous of the angels and their connection to the divine, and you're not really staying grounded on the earth. And then eminence is the opposite, which is focusing only on earthly things, forgetting that you chose to become a soul embodied. And that card said, look, you gotta balance the two. You gotta choose to be both transcendent and eminent, because you have to be in the world, but you don't have to be of it. And so that was a really important piece of me walking through navigating my sadness and disappointment, waking up to a sky that is completely whiteboarded. It doesn't even feel like clouds to me. So there was another piece where she was talking about just awakening in that card. And when I sat to think about that a little bit more, I wrote out what we're called to do is we're called to awaken to grace. Allow yourself to integrate the gnosis of grace with ease, with patience. Do not rush, but keep your commitment to the path, to the journey. And that was a really important part of my meditation this morning because, again, talking about all of the messages that we're bombarded with, there are so many messages, and we need to be able to use our discernment to figure out how much of a message that we are seeing is actually grounded in truth. And that discernment needs to be buffered by your ability to touch into your grace. So coming back to how you doing on your grace journey? How's that going? Have you been able to find at least crumbs along the path to your deep well of grace? Have you found it? If you have, like, let us know. Tell us about that if you would. Um, but yeah, we have to be able to discern using our grace and our wisdom how much truth exists in all of these messages. And so I was writing a little bit more in a different journal. These are my notes that I use to do these these recordings, and I when I am writing, I will often switch to a different style of penmanship, and it's when I switch to that different style of writing that I know that I'm channeling a message because I've shifted gears. And I have different ways of writing. There's lazy, there's controlled, but I always know when I've switched to a different form of writing style, okay, this is a message coming through me, not of me. Um, so there's so many messages, words of a mass awakening, especially today, a massive shift in consciousness, and what spirit channeled through me is focus on your awakening. Don't worry or fret over external forces. Manage your path, your awakening, and know that it matters. There was an interesting post on Instagram this morning from one of the astronauts who is currently in up in space on the Artemis, and his message, and you can search this on Instagram for the NASA site, was basically, when you have this viewpoint, you just realize that our presence on the planet matters. There is we take up a lot of space on this planet, and it matters. So do not doubt that your presence on the planet matters and that you have a part to play in it, but don't be overly concerned with what other people are doing. Yes, we need to keep an eye on the injustices. Yes, we need to keep an eye on the inequity, but when it comes to the awakening, you are responsible for your own. That is your path. And I'm saying this to emphasize, if you get prematurely discouraged because you don't see the evidence of a mass awakening, you can delay your own awakening. So, and I'm talking to you about this from my experience, letting my frustration with what appears to be the delayed awakening of others impact how I pay attention to my awakening. So I just want to leave that for you to think about and consider, because there's a lot that needs to happen, and it's going to happen one soul at a time. But that one soul at a time is a cascading effect. It's an avalanche effect. And so it's important. Stay on your path. Keep working on finding your way to grace. And something that came through last night when I was awoken and asking to say, to set my intentions and to call in goodness for people who are really going through it. Today is tomorrow's history. So I talked a little bit yesterday about choosing grace in every moment, finding your way to that well of grace. And this was just kind of like an anchoring message that it is important to keep daily trying to find your pathway to grace. Seems like, did I have something else that I was going to talk about? Yeah, I guess just, Allow yourself to integrate the gnosis of grace with ease, with patience. Do not rush, but keep your commitment to the path, to the journey. And don't let outward appearances, these external forces that Spirit was talking about, don't let that distract you from your pathway. All right, so this is getting long again. Been shuffling the angel number cards. Let's go ahead and pull a card and see what the message is for us today. 2222, feminine forces. All right, I love it. Relationships, harmony, prosperity, collaboration, patience, humility, support, connection. While you have the strength to accomplish everything on your own, life is meant to be shared. Partner with the right spirit, and together you'll become an unstoppable force. Honor your commitments and value the people around you. Avoid judgment and focus on listening to build meaningful connections. Avoid judgment and focus on listening to build meaningful connections. So I think about that especially that last piece. When we talk about using your discernment to sort through all of the narratives that are being put forth today, most of them very fantastical, most of them fantastical, and a good portion of them also just straight up fear mongering, which is also fantastical. But anyway, I digress. So avoid judgment, avoid getting caught up in those narratives. Discern for yourself, listen, focus on listening to build meaningful connections. Focus on listening to discern what part of truth may exist in those and how it can help you on your path, on your journey to finding your grace and to being a part of this mass awakening that we're being told is going to happen, which I believe is happening. So anyway, that is it for me for today. I am going to go about the rest of my day and spend time with family. And I hope that you are having a blessed day and that you are surrounded by family. Know that I love you. Know that we are in this together. And if you have any comments that you'd like to share, please feel free to do that. If you think that this message is worthy to share with other people, please do share as well. But I'm really doing this just because spirits called me to do it. And I'm not going to get caught up in the whole how many people liked it or shared it. Like that's not my worry, right? That's not my focus. My focus is just do this. All right. Well, that's it. Bama P and be well.